everyone, Teamudf here for I have no idea what this is. I don't know if it would be considered a podcast, a random discussion video. I don't know. I kind of thought about this the other day, actually, when I woke up on Monday morning, the 29th of December, 2014, you see. I decided I want to do a random video called Remembering 2014, where I would basically have anecdotes and stories based on what happened in 2014. I would bring up some things I liked about 2014, I would bring up some things I really hated about 2014, and I would explain, like, some of my reasoning behind, I don't know, maybe certain projects on the channel, like why certain things happened, why other things did not happen. Kind of something like that. I have no idea what in totality that this video is going to contain, so if you're up for wasting a whole bunch of time possibly and just listening to random unorganized thoughts, this is probably the video for you. If not, otherwise, I don't know. So yes. I don't know, I don't think I'm even going to do like any editing or anything on this video. I think I'm just going to say my stuff and then upload it, and we'll put the little Season 4 graphic on it or something. Like I said, I really have no idea what I want this to actually become. So, yeah, I guess let us talk about 2014. It was a pretty interesting year. It was certainly a lot better than 2013. I remember at the end of 2013, I was actually, like, very pissed off at, like, 2 or 3 people coming in the end of 2013, and so much so that when, like, 2014 rolled around, I was telling Evan, you know, I don't think I can deal with these people anymore. And he was like, no, just, you know, stick with the Pure ZC group and everything. And I was like, okay, fine. And I did, so I don't know, I guess it was ultimately a good decision on my part, but whatever. So, kind of things like that. I'm just going to bring random things up that may not even lead into anything. I will, again, try to explain some of my reasoning behind, like, projects that I did, maybe some games that I played, maybe some things that I would have or should have played and maybe did not, but yeah, I don't really know where this is going to head or how long it's going to take, so if you've got nothing better to do, sit back and enjoy, I guess. Okay. So yeah, man, I remember being super impatient with everyone coming into 2014 because I guess Christmas 2013 wasn't that bad. Actually, that was one of the better Christmases I've had in a long time. I didn't really have too many exciting Christmases after, like, my high school years, but 2013 was pretty cool. I got those, like, Chaos Emerald things, I got the Hylian Shield, I got the Master Sword thing. I can't remember much else of what I got. Maybe I got something Egyptian or Japanese based, like a book or something. I can't really remember. But yeah, so coming into 2014, I was pretty pissed off at some people, and I was really mad at, like, my college. So we have this building where, like, all the business takes place called the Loshi Building, and I swear every freaking semester these people get me to go to this building, like, during my break. I have to make a, like, 40-minute drive there and a 40-minute drive back just to do the most random crap, like they'll lose my paperwork, or I have to fill something out, or I have to do something in person. For some reason, I just can't I don't know, I can't do it, like, over the phone or online or something. Luckily, one of the things I managed to find out how to do online recently, so I don't have to, like, worry about that. But I remember I went to lunch with my friend Pam on one of these days. We go to a place called the House of Pizza, and we always just have fantastic conversations. She's really fun to talk to. She's the math secretary for my department. But anyway, so we went to lunch, and I guess... Oh, okay, so the reason... It would help if I elaborated more. The reason I went to lunch with her on this particular day is because I was also going to go turn in a form to Loshi. I'm a graduate student, so I turn in a fee remission. That means that I basically don't have to pay as much tuition, and I'm going to get compensated as long as I teach for Purdue. So it's actually, like, very worth having this fee remission form turned in. It saves me, like, $900 on my tuition every semester, so it's a good sum of money that I save on my tuition. And I'm, like, really glad that they let me into that program and everything. So anyway, so I went to lunch with Pam on this day, and in the middle of going to lunch with her, apparently, because of that, I don't know if anyone remembers that whole polar vortex crap. That was the buzzword, the buzz phrase, I guess, of last year. Polar vortex this and polar vortex that. Because of the polar vortex, it got, like, super cold and really bad out. And so Purdue closed, which meant Loshi closed. The freaking Loshi building closed. My favorite part about this was that the Loshi building closed, And, like, nobody else in my department knew that Purdue had closed down. Like, my department head didn't know it closed down. The secretary I was going to lunch with didn't know it closed down. Nobody freaking knew that this place was closed until, like, after they got back into their offices and just started looking at emails. Everyone else had just, like, up and left already. So, I was really mad because this happened to be, like, I think it was the last day. It was the last day or something that I was able to turn this freaking form in. So I just went home. I was like super pissed off and ready to, like, I don't know, smash something in half. So I came up with this quest idea in ZC. I was going to make a joke quest called Perduality, using the Origin 3 tile set, which this tile set is not Firebird. And boy, do I have some things to say about that blasted Firebird tile set later on when I don't know, crawl through December or whatever. I'm going to try to keep this in kind of a sequential order, you see. So, like, we're talking about January 2014 now. I don't know, I'll try to have some structure to my thoughts, but if I just break off into random stories, well, that's how this thing will go. I guess that's the point of whatever you call this. Again, a podcast or just a random discussion video or whatever. So I was going to make a joke quest called Perduality. Obviously, it being a mishmash of the words Purdue and duality. I thought I was clever, I guess. I don't know. And this basically was going to have, like, it was going to have exactly 12 overworld screens. The storyline would have been that there are exactly 12 overworld screens. There is legend of a 13th overworld screen, such that when you find this 13th overworld screen, you, like, warp to a different dimension or something, and it's just kind of a completely unknown thing to go to. So that was, like, the premise of the quest. But the storyline behind the quest was going to be basically that the character is sick of, like, living in the universe. Actually, no, it was going to be the villain. The villain was aware that they were in a video game, and the villain was trying to break out of the video game, but the hero, being like a good boy, was going to adhere to the people in charge. In this case, I would have, like, been making fun of the people in the Loshi building because I freaking hate them so much. And so I was going to have, like, all these villains who just think that they are the most important thing in the world and that everyone's schedule must revolve around them. And that was basically going to be my jab at these people in this Loshi building, because I was absolutely tired of getting screwed over by them semester after semester, having to turn in this paperwork, and sometimes going there, they aren't around, or it's too late in the day, or some goofy nonsense like that. Even though, like, their times are from 8 to 4, I head in there at, like, 3:30 and nobody's freaking there. So I was basically just going to bash these people in this joke quest. And I don't know, maybe it's a good thing I didn't ever finish that quest, although I did make a really fun dungeon in that quest. It was basically like a treasure hunting dungeon, where you would walk in and, I don't know, it was just kind of a neat labyrinth that you could explore. I did want to recycle that in something else that I'll maybe talk about. But yeah, that was my angry Perduality quest, as I was going to have the bad guys basically be the Purdue Loshi building, who think that they are just the greatest thing in the world. The actual villain, or I guess anti-hero more so, who's trying to escape the universe and change everything's ways, and you play as Link, who believes that Loshi is correct in everything, but then later on you find out that they're just douchebags and you off them, so hooray for that. But yeah, so that was, I don't know, my break. I don't remember my winter break being too productive. I ended up starting this Perduality quest, and I was doing really well with it. Then I think I like, went back to Lost Lineage or AU or something. I don't freaking know. But yeah, I guess that's about it for that story. So, Oh, so here's something interesting I guess we can talk about, is, like, Tales and stuff. Because I remember it was January 11th, because I still have the footage. So here's how this goes. Everyone's going to be, like, super pissed if they're a fan of Tales from Cyrodiil, and I apologize ahead of time, but here's how this went down. Is on January 11th, I recorded all of Tales 15. Like, Tales 15 footage was done, and given that Tales 14 was released on April 1st, you might be able to see how this went. I still have the footage, like I said, it's just I never freaking got around to editing it. And editing in general has just become one of my biggest woes lately. Like, the more editing I have to do in a series, the more disinterest I start to show in it. I don't even think disinterest is a proper word, but that's how I feel, is I just get completely uninterested in something if I have to edit it for hours and hours and hours on end. And unfortunately, even though Tales is like still one of my favorite things that I do on the channel. For even as seldom as it comes around, it just takes so freaking long to edit. And I'm so mad that it does, because I would really like to have done something more with it. Like, basically, my rant here, I'm getting a call from someone, but I'm doing my little goofy show thing, so we're gonna let that go. Listen to the phone. Can you hear it? That's right. You can't, can you? Anyway, so my main gripe about Tales is that it's been 5 years, and I've only released like the 14 episodes. I've got the 15th done. I did the what was it called? What did I call it? I think I called it Tales Shorts, where I streamed one day. I made an entire Tales episode on stream one day in like August or no, it was later than that. It must have been October or something. So we're jumping the gun, but whatever. Random live stuff that I'm not going to edit. What more could you want from good old Teamudf? But yeah, and it just irks me so much that I've had these great ideas for stories since like 2009, and I just haven't been able to do them. I either run out of time, I just can't get the NPCs to do what I want them to do, or something else goes wrong. I never get around to editing. I don't feel like editing. I don't know, for those of you that are relatively new to the channel, motivation's a huge thing for me. I cannot force myself to do anything, so like, well, I mean, to a degree, I kind of have to, like, do my job and things. Actually, but I've never been in the position where I didn't want to do my job, because I love teaching, so, I don't know. Maybe if I have to cross that road someday, I'll figure something out for Tales, but for now, I don't like forcing myself to LP or edit or something. If I don't want to do it, then I don't do it, because otherwise the product will be total trash, and it'll just waste everyone's time. But yeah, so Tales 15 has more or less been done. I think I just have to add... when I get off my backside, I think I just have to add grunts lines for Engo. And then I have to figure out what music I'm using. And then I will probably want to film Tales 16 first, because at this point, the wait for Tales 15 is not going to be worth it. It is entirely a backstory episode. There's, like, no fighting, there's not much going on besides backstory, and a gambit between two villains. So, I don't know. I don't really think that was worth the wait since April 1st, 2014. So I don't know. I will try my best to get to Tales 16. If not, maybe I can just put some music together and upload the Tales short, because that's a good 8 minutes. It was actually a lot longer than I anticipated that to be. Maybe I'll try to... In fact, here, let's, like, open a notepad or something, and we'll say, like, Tales shorts or something. So I remember to talk about that, hopefully, during this, random thing or whatever. It's on a blank screen, so I'm sure I will remember it. But yeah, so things like Tales, I don't know. I love them, but man, just the editing work. And what sucks is that I can't really hand something like Tales off to someone else. Like, the next natural step would be to just send Tales off to someone else and have them edit it. But the problem is that they don't know what I want. Like, by the time I finished explaining how all these scenes should be going together, especially when there are like 100+ clips for each episode, and there really are. For the people who managed to reach my, they reached my one stream in October, and I did the Tales short. Even that was like 101 clips or something. It was ridiculous. So like a full-size Tales episode is probably even more than that, like 150 or 200 or something. I don't know, just some ridiculous number of clips that I have to either completely get rid of or actually use or move around in a certain order or something. It's just a mess. So I don't think, unless I had someone, like, in real life sitting next to me and actually seeing how this thing is put together, that I would ever be able to hand off Tales and have it actually come out to what it comes out to. And that's not to say that it's a great edited series or anything. I know it's like a complete joke as far as artistic value goes, but I love the freaking thing, you know? I love doing all the voice acting and everything. I like making the jokes and the random storylines. That's just so much fun. For those of you who don't know, I did a lot of writing in the past. It was mostly Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Like, I had a fan fiction that went for exactly 3 years to the date. It was September 17th, 2006 to September 17th, 2009. Lasted 200 episodes. It had a huge following. It was a lot of fun. I built, like, a community of people who I could talk to and actually, like, they wrote their own similar stories. We read them. We built this, like, community of writing. It was just so much fun. It was like at the end of high school to college. It was just a blast. And I haven't really felt that since around 2011, when I had to do my student teaching, and I vanished. I came back, my whole community was gone, they all moved on, or they couldn't continue or something. So I've been trying to fill that void with like multiple projects. Tales Universe is one of them. I guess I'll talk about Tales Universe when I get to April, but yeah, so that's how Tales from Cyrodiil the video series is going, where I've pretty much got Tales 15 on the palm of my hand. I just need to finally sit down and do something with it, because I really do feel legitimately bad that this could have been like the biggest series ever on the channel, and it could have done wonders for like my subscriber count and just my overall morality is morale, that's the word I'm looking for. Morale as far as my YouTube channel is concerned. Because since like 2012, I think, I have not felt really creative as far as YouTube goes. I don't know, like, I'm not gonna sit here and whine and complain and ask for sympathy or anything. Obviously, I'm still having fun. Even in the Parallel Remodel series, for as bad as that game has been, I was having a lot of fun just kind of going through it again and making fun of it and ranting, doing my thing, basically. So by no means am I ready to like quit YouTube or anything, but I just feel like since 2012 it hasn't really been going all that well, and I feel like I could have done a lot more with it. And I try not to let that get to me, as some people who I've ranted more regularly about that to know that it was like eating away at me for a good year or so, especially through most of 2013 when I was like looking at people that they started YouTube after me and they were already in like the millions of subscribers, and I'm sitting here thinking, what the crap did I do wrong? And I don't know. So it was just a whole creative mess on my part, and I'm mostly over it. You guys have seen the new things that I came out with. We started the streams. We were making the ZC games. I actually released another game. We've got a lot of stuff going on. It's just sometimes that what if, what could have been, that kind of eats away at me a little, and I get a little bit disappointed, but I try not to let it affect me all that much. So anyway, I guess that's how my January went. I started teaching again, of course. Oh man, but I got this class, Math 153, Algebra and Trig 1. This is like my favorite class ever to teach. All you do is freak and play with numbers. It is absolutely amazing to just kind of see what kind of students I can get in there. Because the thing about this class, like, some people are ending their math careers there. Like, 153 is one of the final courses they have to take. But if they're coming in as like an engineer, or they wanna do something on the business side or statistics or something, they're starting with 153. So I've got like this whole diverse crowd of students where some of them are ending their math career and others are starting their math career. Some of them are just in the middle, they're testing the waters, maybe they don't even know college is for them or what, so it's just a huge mess of students that can be in there. But man, it was fun. I think I got a decently good group. I had them really working on the problems. I didn't assign much homework. I think I gave them like 8 front-to-back pages of homework the entire semester that I actually graded. I would assign like practice problems on the board and stuff, and they would actually do them because they knew that they had to do them in order to maintain like their grade in the course. So that worked really well, and in fact I should have like used that in the fall this past semester, because I felt like both of my groups this semester were lazy, but I don't know. It could have just been that particular crowd of students. When you teach something, especially high school or college, there's no two students are alike. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, I taught at Ivy Tech. I taught 3 courses over there. I should have only had 2, but I managed to slip through the cracks and I got a 3rd course. All 3 of those courses were just fantastic. I loved those. Funny story about one of those courses, actually, is one of my students had the biggest crush on me, and now, for those of you who don't know me or don't know me all that well, you have to remember I am teaching college, alright? I'm teaching college and university. All these people are adults. Literally all these people are adults. Okay. So one of my students had like the biggest crush on me. I actually think she was like 3 years older than me at the time. Let's see. Yeah, she would have been 3 years older than me at the time. So that was certainly interesting to say the least, especially considering I already had a girlfriend. Actually, the way that came about, so I don't know. Never have I like outright been approached by women before this girl, and I didn't even realize what was going on for a while. So it was like Valentine's Day or something, and she asked me what I was doing for Valentine's Day, and I said I'm probably just gonna like go home and screw around on my games or something, because Uh, my girlfriend Kate was not going to be around that particular day. I don't think she was anyway. She had like something to do. I'm pretty sure. I might be mixing my years up. But in any case, so she wasn't supposed to be around. So I just said what I thought I was going to do. I was going to go home and like probably screw around for a couple hours and then go to bed because I had to wake up on the next morning for Purdue at like 7. No, I had to wake up at 6:15 because I taught an 8. No, I didn't. No, that was the semester I taught the 11 o'clock. So I had to wake up at like 9:30 or something. You know, still relatively early, but so I don't know. Anyway, and so then she sent me this email like, well, you know, May is right around the corner. And I'm slowly starting to put it together in my head. It's like, oh, I see. So I like had to let her down gently, and we're actually friends now, so that's pretty cool. She actually wanted to still be friends after she finished my class up and everything. She was like one of the only A's in there, and for not for the reasons you might suspect. She was actually very diligent in what she did. She would come into the office every day and just work on my math lab the entire time. Really good student, really good student. And I got a new friend out of it, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, Ivy Tech went really well. Actually, I got two new friends out of it, because there was another student. Sadly, this one disappeared, though, because she had outside problems, unfortunately, but, I don't know, she then emailed me one day, asking if we could still talk and be friends and stuff. She vanished after that, though, so I was kind of disappointed about that. You know, as a teacher who likes to interact with his students and everything, I hate to see that when like someone has to disappear or something, or they're not doing well, and there's nothing I can really do about it because I'm not living their life, or you know, the teacher-student relationship. There are only certain things I can do, and I don't know. So it's kind of a bummer when I have to kind of sit back sometimes and just play the professional role, and I basically say, yeah, that sure is a problem you have. I hope you have better luck with that. And then I'm like forced to move on because we're all like super strict about what teachers and how teachers and students can interact now. Or maybe we're not. I don't know. Because like I remember some people in the high school where I student taught, I think were like Facebook friends with some of the teachers and everything. So I could just be old fashioned here, but being old fashioned in this case is probably the better approach anyway. So there's how that went. I don't know. I got completely sidetracked. So those courses were all really fun to teach. I met some new friends. I still have a couple of the students from Purdue who actually come to my office hours and visit me and ask me questions because they liked my Math 153 so much that when they were in 154, or some of them came to my 159-10 class in calculus, and so that was just, it's really fun to just kind of see the system in action. I don't get to see that too often in college because there are so many routes that you can go in college that you don't really ever have to see the same professor twice. Some of the professors when I was an undergraduate, I didn't even see once. So it's really amazing when I get to see some of my students twice. I haven't seen any of my students 3 times yet. I'm waiting for the big thrice to come along. I don't know when that'll happen though, because of the courses I teach, they're mostly terminal courses, which basically means that if I take 1 or 2 of them, they're done with math. So I don't really think there's much of a chance of me seeing a student 3 times at the college level, unless they start like at the very bottom or something, or, you know, after I get my master's degree and I can teach, you know, more undergraduate courses or something. Because right now most of the courses are restricted to low 100 level courses. I've got some mid to high ones though. Like I said, the 153 can be considered a terminal course depending on your major. So that's pretty interesting. I guess. I don't know. I guess that if I didn't think it was interesting, I wouldn't have told the story. So the 2 classes I took were linear algebra, the 500 level linear algebra, by the way. So for like engineering majors or something who know what undergraduate linear algebra is, this was nothing like that. We did pretty much vector spaces all semester. We ended with Graham-Schmidt and things like that, and somehow I got a 28 out of 30 on this final exam. So I was really happy about that. I was really happy about it because the professor had told us the semester before that he was going to be teaching linear algebra, and he promised it was easier than the group theory class we had just taken. And the whole semester I was just like, man, I really have to be letting this guy down because I don't really feel like this is easier at all. And then lo and behold, because of the final exam, I got a higher final grade than I did in the group theory class. So go figure. Whatever. It just seemed like in that particular class I could like work on my homework and it would come a lot faster. Like the ideas and how to write the proofs would come a lot more quickly. But I would screw up a lot more things too, so it was one of those things where maybe if I took my time more, I would have done better anyway. But I don't know, so just weird things like that. I also took a numerical analysis course, which we were basically coding in MATLAB the whole semester. Was it MATLAB? Yeah, it had to be MATLAB. Yeah, we were coding like algorithms and things in MATLAB, so that was pretty fun. That was the first time I had worked with MATLAB, and the first time I had actually written like an actual algorithm. Because I've done stuff like ZC for a while now, but I tend to stay away from the mega scripting kind of field in ZC because there's too much that I don't want to invest the time into learning. I know it's extremely lazy for me to say that, and people that I request scripts from know how lazy I am with this, but I think I don't know, I think they either help me out because they know I'm going to actually learn something from it, or because I can write scripts. Like, one of the major things I wrote in Zelda Classic was an event branch script, which basically controls all of AU, this one script does, and it's only like 5 to 6 lines. It's a very short script, but it controls, like, my whole game, because I need to know where to send the player based on what events they've done, and what items they have in their inventory. So I wrote a script that's like, okay, if you met the requirements for event A, we're going to send you to event A. If you met the requirements for event B, we're going to send you to event B. And I made sure that all of these things are mutually exclusive. So there is no possible way that the player should be able to screw the game up badly enough so that there's a chance they would get sent to both A and B, basically. They would only be possible to get sent to either A or B, if that makes any sense to like the non-scripters or the non-programmers whatsoever. So I've done some things like scripting and everything. So anyway, that class was pretty fun. So I don't know, I guess the start to the semester wasn't too bad. It was really stressful though as time progressed, because then I was starting to have I had homework. I had to plan for my courses, all 4 of them. See, the bad thing that I do is I usually take 2 and I teach 4. This is a bad idea, as I guess I've been told. Usually the standard seems to be that you teach 2 and take 2. I've been teaching 4 and taking 2. So that is quite a bit of math that I'm going through. Actually, I'll be doing that again this upcoming semester. I will be teaching 14 credit hours, and I will be taking 6 credit hours. And I have the potential to be working on a project for Ford Motor at the same time, involving statistical analysis of data. So yeah, if you guys wonder why my uploads really slow down at some point, chances are it's probably something to do with all this jank here. So yeah, I keep myself very busy, and it just add on to that all my writing, all my game design, all my screwing around with you guys on Steam. I do a lot. I don't know how I'm not dead yet, but hey, we're still going, so that was pretty great. Oh yeah, so numerical analysis kind of helped me get a new perspective on scripting. Again, I still don't want to do anything major in ZC, oh man, so major scripting in ZC, if you want to talk about that, let's jump to February, because I think that's when I started playing In the Lost Kingdom of the Banana Blood God by Moosh, and Russ also helped, that's right. So by Mush and Rush, Queast, which is actually, I think that's where that name came from, as I said, yeah, I think I said Moosh and Rush by mistake one day, and then I called my file Mush Rush, and now everyone calls that quest Mush Rush. So anyway, I had a song for that quest that I was going to include in the series. I was basically going to take the Hey Digimon theme from the very first season of the English dubbed Digimon, and I was going to try to dub lyrics over it so that it was singing about Moosh instead. I'm not going to sing that song right now, and you probably will never see that song because I was never able to find an instrumental version of Hey Digimon. Every time I looked it up, it had the lyrics and the singers in the song. All I wanted was an instrumental version so I could insert my own songs, kind of like the parody songs I did in the past. Triforce Rage and whatever I called the spinny one. I don't even remember if I gave that a name or if it was just kind of a song about the spinner in Twilight Princess. So hooray for that. When did I finish the Twilight Princess LP? Do I still have that on this computer? Let me take a look right here. This is live and I'm not editing it, so I don't care. I really don't care. This is just supposed to be fun screwing around. I don't see it. I bet it's on my new external. I got a 2 terabyte external drive for Christmas, and I just started tossing things on there. But more on why I'm doing that later on. So, alright. Bananas, man, I think that's the last major ZC quest I did. No, I did Depressive Donuts. But I haven't really done anything since then. I did the first I Hate Mayonnaise. I did this horrible quest called Bold America, which I think is still sitting at the bottom of that list I made up. And I feel really bad for making up that list, because I don't want to, like, ostracize anyone. But you know what? I think I've gotten to the point to where I don't care. There's no way I'm going to... This also has to do with, like, me feeling bad about my channel and everything. There's just no way I'm going to appease 100% of the people who stumble upon my channel. It's impossible. It's a gigantic waste of my time and your time for me to be, like, investing any thought into that whatsoever. I want you guys to have fun, but there's no way I should be putting a silly amount of effort into, like, caring what people think about me or whatever. So that's kind of why we have this... I don't know. I feel like we're in a new age of Team UDF where I don't care and I'm taking shots as I see them, basically. Like, I just feel a lot more unchained than I have been in the past, where I would basically say, like, wow, this is really bad, I should give this, like, a 2 out of 10. But, you know what? You really tried this and you tried that. Like, I'm trying to be everyone's friend or some really just goofy, pretentious thing. And I don't know, that's just... It's so make-believe and not down-to-earth that I hated that era so much. So now, basically, I've just been crapping all over what I hate, more or less. Evident in the rest of the Parallel Remodel LP coming up, which I have finished. I actually finished the entire Dark World in one sitting. One sitting for that whole Dark World, so... you guys will see what I have to say about that, but... I'm just tired of, like, pretending to be super nice, like, oh, maybe if I'm nice, you know, maybe if I'm nice to everybody... and I try to be everyone's friend, we'll get more subscribers and we'll have more fun instead. And you know what? No. Okay, let's relax here. Let's chill. Let's figure this out. Let's think logically for a minute here. This isn't how we operate in the 21st century. I don't think this is how we operated in the 20th century. So that was just... I have no idea what I was thinking by doing that. So, basically, I'm not going to be sparing feelings anymore, just for the sake of sparing feelings. That's not to say that I'm going to just start crapping all over things, but I am going to be a lot more realistic with my opinions on things, and I really don't care what the repercussions are, because that is the point of an opinion. That's like one of the biggest wars right now on Pure ZC is that, oh, everyone's got their opinion, and oh, their opinion is so great and everything, and basically I'm here to tell you, no, that is not the case. There are definitely superior opinions, and there are inferior opinions, and most of the time these inferior opinions come from the fact that the person is either misinformed, inexperienced, or they're just complete trolls, as... Maybe we'll get around to talking about a couple of those people later on, by name if I feel like it, because hey, this is the new Team UDF. It's not really the new Team UDF, it's just the unhinged Team UDF. Maybe that's what we'll call this era. We'll call this era the unhinged Team UDF era, because I am just done caring, so hooray for that. And again, I don't mean I'm done caring about the channel or things, I'm just, there's no reason why I should be trying to be everyone's friend when not everyone wants to be friends, so I don't know. You could argue in the other direction, too. It's like, well, maybe they would act a little better if someone extended an olive branch to them. However, I can count more counter-examples to that than I can examples, so for now I feel pretty confident about going into this unhinged Team UDF phase of mine. So, I don't know. Long story short, I don't know how I got sidetracked on that one, but again, this is part of the fun. We get sidetracked on this channel. I need to do more ZC quests. There are a couple I've got in mind. Also, Isle of Rebirth LP is cancelled. What I want to replace that with is I want to try to do a video review of the game, but I want to do it in, like, I don't know how to describe this. I guess, like, in the style of... Let's see, who does this? JonTron and the Angry Video Game Nerd. And that's not to say I'm just going to outright steal their gimmicks or act like them, but I mean how they show bits and pieces of the game, and they kind of talk about the game overall. I want to do something like that. Like, I want to do an actual video review of some games. instead of having to LP every game and then reviewing it at the very end for like 5 to 15 minutes. No, I just want to do the 5 to 15 minutes right away, show you some footage, maybe talk about the high points, the low points, recommend whether I want you to play it or not, and we'll move on like that. So I think that could be kind of fun. I don't expect that'll be like a full-time thing, though, because as is evident from channels like JonTron, Angry Video Game Nerd, I can't think of anyone else who does things like this, like off the top of my head. But anyway, so those are, again, something that take a lot of editing work, so I don't know. If I did this full-time, it would be no problem at all, but I teach full-time, so instead we will be focusing on that, because that is where my main moolah comes from. Definitely, for sure, if my main source of income came from YouTube, I have no doubt in my mind I would be putting like 5,000% more effort into this. But for now, hey, it's just a hobby. It's a thing to have fun with some of the people I've met over the years. I've got so many new people on my Skype and my Steam that I never would have encountered had I never did this. So that's again why I think that I was just being ridiculous and thinking, man, these channels have 1 million subs and I don't. I must suck. Because that's not true at all, because I've met some really memorable people, and hopefully they'll be with me for a very, very freaking long time. And you know I mean it because I added freaking for no reason. So there you go. Okay, so more ZC quests, so you gotta do that. Speaking of, let's see, ZC, anything else about that? I don't know, I don't really have anything for March. So Pale Soul, we'll talk about Pale Soul. You might remember the old version of Pale Soul. I think I uploaded like a demo in, what was it, like 2009, 2010 probably? Yeah, I think 2010 for like the super old Pale Soul. And what I decided was, hey, AU is a prequel to Lost Lineage. So why don't I make Pale Soul a prequel to AU? And I was like, gee, self, that sure is a great idea. And then my other self said, wow, there are a lot of voices in this head. And then my fourth self said, yeah, let's go ahead and let's get to work, though. So what I was going to do with this game is I actually wanted you to play as 3 characters. I wanted you to play as Link. I wanted you to play as a villain. I guess I can't be too spoilerific here because this might still happen. So you're going to play as either Link or one of 2 villains. And they all had the 3 main characters of the story. No other main characters in the story, just solely a plot focusing on these 3 gentlemen. And you would switch control between them. But what you would be doing is you would go to like one place with Link, and whatever you do there as Link, you cannot do as another character. So let's say there's a plot point, and I think this actually was one that I had planned. Let's say there's a plot point where you need the oh my god, what was it called? The Ocarina of Time. So you're going to get the Ocarina of Time from this tower. Okay. If you play as Link first and go to the tower and collect the Ocarina of Time, now the villain characters can't use the Ocarina for their plans. But on the other hand, if you got one of the villains the Ocarina of Time, then when you go back to the tower as Link, you can't pick it up because it's already gone. You gave it to another character. So I wanted you to control the story, more or less, by playing as these 3 different characters at just random intervals. You know what? This sounds like something I'd want to do as like a standalone project. Let me write this down. Because this might, I don't know, this could be like some cool RPG Maker thing that I could like actually release or something. Because that's something I want to do, is I actually want to start like publishing things. I want to publish some small game or some small story or something. I want to give you guys a finished product that you can like actually enjoy. And I'm not gonna lie, if I make some cash on the side, great. Am I gonna be like a major superstar? Nah, that time has passed. So we're gonna screw around with it basically. But yeah, Pale Soul is a standalone game on RPG Maker. Let me like write that down. That seriously seems like something that could be fun. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for ideas that could be fun. Because here's what's been happening in 2014, like for most of the year. I only figured out what was going on in like October. So from January to October this went on. I would get a fun idea. So like let's say that just talking to someone or doing what I did just now. I'm just thinking of stuff. I'm telling you things that I would have done and I'm like, oh dang, here's an idea that I could do that's based off that. And so I would like write down the idea. And I'm thinking as I go to bed, wow, this is a really cool idea. And then I wake up. And then I say to myself, wow, screw that idea. That idea sucks. And this went on from January to October. From everything to like LPs, to Tales, to my Yu-Gi-Oh! Stories, to making games on RPG Maker, to ZC Quest. This went on for everything. For everything. From, again, January to October, I would just get ideas, and then the next morning I would completely throw them out and not want to do them. And finally, it was like right before my birthday in October that I woke up one morning and I finally said to myself, well, now wait a minute. I liked that idea so much last night. Like, there was one idea I got for a game that I wrote like pages upon pages of ideas for this game right before bed. And then I woke up and I said, oh, that's all dumb. Wait a minute. I just spent all that time writing out all those ideas. What the heck is going on here? And I think I figured it out. Is that from January to May, and then from August to October, because remember I figured this out in October, I was getting next to no sleep on Mondays and Wednesdays. All the ideas that I got in the summer, I liked. I got all the ideas for like the completed version of AU in the summer. I got the idea for the new version of Lost Lineage in the summer. I got the idea for Hum in the summer. All the ideas that I liked were from the summer. And it had nothing to do with the time of year. It had to do with how much sleep I was getting. I was waking up cranky and being like, screw this idea. This idea sucks. I don't want this freaking idea on my table anymore. And then I would just blow it off and go be like cranky at school until I woke up. Like, I'm not a cranky person by any means. You have to do a lot to like legitimately piss me off. Like, I know I make my goofy rants and things on my videos and reviews and stuff, but to like actually legitimately anger me, you have to be those people at the end of 2013, more or less. Or a couple other choice people whose names I won't drop simply for the fact that they will not get the right to be immortal in one of my videos. So hooray for them. They suck. Yay! But anyway, so this like flow of ideas that I screwed myself out of just because I wasn't getting enough sleep. I mean, the lack of sleep is completely my fault. I should have gone to bed earlier. And I'm not like blaming the lack of... Well, I am blaming the lack of sleep, but I'm not like saying that I couldn't have done something about it. So now what I do if I get an idea is I wake up and I still say, man, this idea sucks. Like, this video that I'm doing right now, I said, hey, it would be really cool if I just told a bunch of random stories and anecdotes from like 2014 and stuff. And then I woke up and I was like, I don't really want to do this video. This is a dumb idea. Everyone's going to hate it. Nobody's going to care. And then I'll move on with my day. And okay, no, it's silly. And the funny thing about it is that I had to wake up early on that day that I said that this video would be a bad idea. And I didn't get sleep because of it. I'm not really good at adjusting my sleep schedule in one day, so like if I don't know things in advance and I don't get the time to change my sleep schedule, I'm gonna be like super out of my game the next day or something. So I got like 5 hours of sleep yesterday and I said, man, this video idea is really bad, I don't want to do this. And now I'm taking a step back and I'm saying, okay, let's like leave this idea on the table. If I still hate it at the end of the day, maybe we can dump it. But if I feel like I don't have to dump it now, maybe we will actually do something with it. And so that's why I'm glad I'm doing this video, is so I can just say things and not have to feel like I'm holding back. I'm sure I've said some things that have made you frown already, maybe. Or I've said some things that made you smile, and you know what? That's great, either way, because I don't have to, like, think to myself anymore. I can think aloud, I can say things, I can get stuff off my chest. That's what this video is for. And being random and telling stories as usual. So there's all that. So that's, like, I guess my rant on the flow of ideas is... I don't know, maybe we can change this into like some kind of advice thing where, you know, if you think of an idea and you're like really passionate about it, and then you wake up the next morning and you hate it, I'd say give yourself some time. Maybe think about the idea deeper. maybe try to tweak it in your head or something. If I do this idea, is it really going to be as bad as I think it is, or am I just blowing smoke because I have to wake up early, or something wrong is going at school or something, or I'm mad at someone and I'm taking it out on this idea. So I don't know. Give yourself some chance to do something. Let's have this be like a UDF revolution. Like, if you want to do something, you should really go out and do it. That's the motivation I've been trying to use lately in like writing my new stories and getting back into tales and everything. That's why when people come on my channel with like the most obnoxious comments sometimes, we're like, "Team, I've been subscribed to you since like 2009. You kind of suck now." And I'm sitting here like, okay. Realistically, mysterious subscriber who I won't name, and there have been quite a few of these comments. What am I really? How do I really respond to a comment like this, where the content is more or less as I say? They don't outright say, "Hey, Team UDF, I've been subbed to you since 2009. You suck now. You were better back then." They don't really say it that way. But that's how I interpret it, because they go around in circles with like all these. They try to be fancy with wording and everything, and they try to get out like all this double speak so it doesn't look like they're insulting me, but they really are, and just a whole bunch of goofy crap. And I'm sitting here like, how do you really want me to respond to this? Do you want me to say, "Oh, shoot, gee, I'm sorry, you're right, I really was better in 2011. I should go back to doing that"? Maybe they do legitimately expect that, and I can actually give them the fact that I bet you that my Spaz Team UDF era from like 2010 to 2011, I bet you that is the time that I got the most subscribers. And you know what? Maybe most of the subscribers I got were really from me just completely acting like a nut job. Here's why I stopped doing that. Okay. I was student teaching at the time, and some of my students ended up finding my YouTube channel. I think I gave them like a goofy hint as to what it was or something. Actually, I do remember that is what I did, because I was the whole time. I can't remember how they found out that I was an LPer, but eventually I probably got into a video game discussion and just casually mentioned it or something. And so some of my students wanted to know my YouTube channel name, and I said, "Okay, I'll give you hints, but I will only directly tell you the name of the channel after the semester's over, because I don't want to bridge the gap of like professionalism. I really shouldn't be doing that, especially since I was just a student teacher at the time, the end of 2011. So, wait, where was I going with this? So then a couple of them were like watching my videos, and a couple of them started to comment on my videos, and I remember this one. It was like, "Wow, it's weird to see my math teacher playing Skyrim." And I looked at that comment, and I'm like, hey, you know what? That is pretty funny. It would be kind of weird to see that. Like, I'm thinking about all my past teachers. None of the teachers I grew up with were gamers, obviously. Gaming wasn't even that big when I was in grade school. And this area that I'm in is... it's just a dead zone for gaming. There are not many gamers around here at all, I don't think, so... definitely gaming is not the norm around here. At least it wasn't the norm in my high school. We had a definite sports environment high school. Boy, that would be fun. Maybe I can tell like random stories from high school and stuff too. I'd have to think about if I want to make that its own series. But anyway, so it wasn't that particular comment that weirded me out about my spaz style. It was that the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, I don't really act like this in class. And I don't have to, because, classroom is a professional environment and everything. Maybe some teachers do, and maybe that works for them, because maybe their students are, like, super excited and everything. My students are pretty super excited, because no matter what I do, no matter where I go, no matter what style I'm using, I'm going to be, like, enthusiastic about it, and I'm going to be alive. The obvious counterexample is when I started YouTube, and I had my very quiet Team UDF phase in, like, 2009 to the beginning of 2010. But anyway... So the more I thought about this, the more I'm thinking in my head, okay. As opposed to, like, thinking in my arm or something, because you don't think... Yeah, okay, anyway, great, jokes aside. Okay. Wow. I could have, potentially, modern students watching this. And I mean modern student by they could be in my room that day. They could be in my classroom that day learning from me, and knowing that at the same time... I'm this really goofy guy on YouTube, just saying like, holy crap, and making random songs and stuff. I never got rid of the songs, because those are actually fun, but... And it didn't settle right with me. Where I was sitting there thinking, man, I'm 22, 23 at the time. And I'm making these just really obnoxious, silly jokes all the time, and I was looking back at my videos and cringing every time I would just use the high-pitched voice for no reason, and every video was this, oh my god, this was... I don't know why people let me get away with this. I completely turned on my style of commentary. So that's why when I got my new microphone, I went back to the old style of Teamudf, where I was kind of harsh on things, but then I would try to elaborate on my reasoning more. That was the trade-off, is that early Teamudf, I didn't really give any benefit of the doubt, like, all that much. Later Teamudf, I did give things the benefit of the doubt. And I tried to elaborate more on why I hated things instead of just saying, wow, this is stupid, or what the crap, or Impa's ways this, and Moldorm that, and... So, I don't know, it was just the way I was acting in those spaz videos in 2011. I think what happened was that I looked at those videos and I thought about, like, my age, I thought about my profession, and I thought about how I act in the classroom, and I just looked at this and I said, man, this is like bad. I really shouldn't be doing this. I completely feel like a child when I'm doing these videos now. And so that was the evolution of the Teamudf style in like 2012, when I came back with my new microphone after that Christmas, and I started off very chill. I don't know. I at least certainly think I'm more chill than I was in the past. You might disagree, because all you do is you only see me when I'm in my gaming mode and in my gaming environment. But you know what? I've really mellowed out over the years. I don't have just random... Again, you might be thinking, well, that's crap. I just watched your Parallel Remodel Part 5 when you flipped out on Helmasaur King and you flipped out on Dragor, and you went to Impa's Ways and you smashed your keyboard and you did all this stuff. But no, I'm being serious. Or like, certain things just do not bug me as much as they did back then. But what really does bug me is when someone is acting just like a complete child and don't realize it. Like, they're doing it completely unironically. And that's why I hated the Spaz Teamudf era, is because I was acting like that, completely unironically. It wasn't like a character, it wasn't a persona I invented for Teamudf gaming, it was like legitimately how I was playing the game and naturally reacting to things. I have no idea where that era came from, or why I did it that way, or how it evolved that way. It could be because I thought I was talking to, like, a younger audience. Which is weird when you think about the 12-year-old rant I had in my Minecraft video. Like, why was I gearing my commentary style toward 12-year-olds when not only did I have that rant against 12-year-olds, but they were the reason I stopped swearing on the channel in the first place. It was like a few PMs that I got saying that in like 2010 my channel was great, but could you please not swear? And that was a no-brainer to me. I sat back and I thought, okay, you know what, fine. I swear occasionally in real life. Everyone probably does. Maybe some people don't. Actually, I can name one person off the top of my head who doesn't. But most people swear casually in real life. I do included. But I said, you know what, that's a simple enough request. We'll stop swearing on the channel. Here's like your bonus trivia question for the day. Can you name the one video when I threw that rule out and I was going to go back to casual swearing? Think about it. I actually had a video in one of the more recent Teamudf eras where I went back to swearing for a while. And it was because I was like really pissed off at something. I can't remember if it was 2012 or 2013. But I went back to swearing for one video. And then I looked back at it and I said, this is just complete garbage. This is unnecessary. I don't need this. But yeah, so I don't know if any of that makes any sense, but I just didn't want to act like a petulant child anymore, because I base a lot of my accusations and things on straight logic. That's what mathematicians are trained to do. We're supposed to argue with logic, not with emotion. But if I'm acting like a complete nut job, and I'm just doing all these goofy, like, little kitty joke things, who could possibly take my reviews seriously? Maybe that's, like, more of the thought process I want to go on here. Is who could possibly take all this seriously when I'm just crazy, you know? It's not like now where I'm crazy some of the time, and I think that's just naturally me, as I just want to be high energy and I want to jump around and do stuff, but so none of that is forced either. I don't think I've ever forced a persona onto this channel, but it's just that spaz Team UDF era. I can't get that out of my head. I can't figure out why I acted like that for so long, and it really bugs me. It doesn't seem like it should be something that I did. It doesn't fit my, like, actual self. It doesn't fit the logically based arguments that I want to make. So yeah, I got rid of the spaz Team UDF era, and maybe the channel died because of it. I've got no clue. I still get more subscribers. I've got over 6,000 now. Again, I appreciate all of you for coming by, dropping the sub button, hitting the like button if you do that, commenting, all that stuff. You know, I've got regular commenters and everything. I have very few people who like the videos, but you know, that stuff never even appealed to me because I don't see the point of the like and the dislike. I don't even know what it does for the video. I don't know if it... I think I tried looking it up once too, where it's like, does this really matter? Like, if my video has more likes, does show up on the front page? I don't know how it works. Even the old stars system didn't make much sense to me either. I had just no point what rating the videos were for, because nobody downvotes a video properly. I don't think there is a single person on YouTube who knows how to downvote a video properly, and that mostly comes from my theory that there is no proper way to downvote a video. Even like one of those really bad trolly videos, I'm sure some of you have at least seen one of them, where it's like a fake jump scare, or it's just complete lack of advertisement, false advertising or whatever. I don't know. I don't see any way to justify downvoting on a whole website scale. So there's old-fashioned Team UDF again. So I've got no freaking clue. Sometimes my thought process interests me, but then I just throw it out because I'm like, well, if I can't really complete this picture in my head, why am I thinking about it? So there goes that thought. It was fun, but yeah. So I don't know. I had another thought that I thought of for English as I was ranting about that, and then let's see. I was talking about the subs and everything. Oh, and okay. So I don't even feel like I have 6,000 subscribers. I have maybe 200 subscribers. Because I regularly get about 200 views on my videos. I think I calculated it out one time. Let me see if I can... Do I still have the numbers with me? Yeah, okay. Here it is. Okay. 3%. Okay. 3, that is a single-digit number. 3% of my subscribers watch my stuff regularly. 3% of my subscribers watch my stuff on a regular basis. Dang, I screwed up somewhere, man. I did horrible for myself on YouTube. But again, I think part of the evolution of myself is that I'm able to just sit here and laugh that off. It's like, wow, did I screw up somewhere? Like, maybe I really could have been something. Maybe I could have been popular, but dang, that's amazing that I have 6,000 subscribers and like only 200 of them or so watch my stuff on a regular basis. That takes some kind of skill to screw up that badly. And you know, it's not even like a series by series basis. It's not that, no. I don't know what it is, but because even when I upload some Oblivion stuff once in a blue moon, they don't come back. So those 5,800, they don't come back. And I don't know. Of course, it's another one of those things that's, while it's frustrating, I'm not going to waste my time thinking about it, because if I was able to fix it, I probably would have figured out how to fix it already. Oh well, that is another boat I missed. So yeah, I guess there's the evolution of Team UDF. We went from super quiet to let's review these games to spastastic Team UDF to let's review these games more seriously and still have some fun. And I guess now we're like a hybrid, take shots at everyone. Oh shoot, I already forgot the phrase that I used. Unhinged Team UDF. I like this. I like this. I don't think you guys know much about me. Maybe this will make me feel better if I feel like you know me more. Because there are sometimes, I don't know, sometimes people on Steam will message me and they'll just kind of start talking about their life or something. And I feel kind of awkward because it's like, well, you're confiding in me all these things about your life and you don't really know anything about me. So, I don't know, maybe that's another reasoning for videos like this. Maybe I could make a series out of this because just I don't think you guys know much about me beyond the gaming and the writing. So, hey, why don't we have some fun here and get that stuff out of the way. So let's see. Wow, I'm still in like March, aren't I? Yeah, I was going to talk about Pale Soul. And then I got off on that giant tangent. So I don't know, I guess let's head to April. It's March. I don't remember March being all that eventful. April, though, had something pretty cool. There was one day I was sitting in my office at Purdue in April. Obviously, well, in April I released Tales 14, and I felt really good about that, because Tales 14 was one of those episodes where, again, I started off thinking it was a great idea. And then by the time I finished it, I'm like, man, this sucks. Nobody's going to like this. And I think it's one of the more... I don't want to say it's one of the more popular Tales episodes by like count or view count, because that's all skewed because I'm not that popular anymore. But it's like one of the better ones, I think, as far as reactions go. Some of my friends and stuff had really good reactions to Tales 14, so I felt really good about that episode. I know 15 won't be as good, but maybe 16 will be okay. I don't know. So anyway, April, I was sitting in my office one day at Purdue, and then just out of nowhere, I'm like, man, I want to write some Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. I haven't written Yu-Gi-Oh! In ages. And for those of you who don't know, I left a series on Pojo.com completely unfinished. It was called Destiny's Horizon. I left it completely unfinished because when my community disappeared in like 2012 and the newer Brat community just kind of started hating on me for no reason. I don't even know what I did to them to like make them hate on me. I just left. I was like, okay, well, screw this. We're gone. I can't remember if I left in 2014 or 2013, though, but I left a message saying, if anyone wants to see the end of the series, I will write an outline and explain to you all the things that were supposed to happen at the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! Destiny's Horizon. And I got a few responses, and I feel super bad because those responses, they all assumed I was going to rewrite the whole series from, like, scratch. And I was like, shoot. I don't have these episodes finished. I don't want to write these episodes. I just want to hand off an outline. But then at the same time, I don't want to let these people down. So I suckered myself into writing the whole series, basically. So finally, as we speak, like a few days ago, I think it was the week before Christmas or something. Maybe it was the week of Christmas. Yeah, I think it was the week of Christmas. Was it at Tootsie's? It was at my Aunt Tootsie's, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. No, it was the day before that. But I did finish. I finally finished Yu-Gi-Oh! Destiny's Horizon. Like, during Christmas time. So, for anyone from Pojo watching this right now, listening to this, you have a surprise coming. I haven't told you about it yet, so you've got the end of the series coming. It is not good. It is by far no good in comparison to the rest of the series. I completely bum-rushed the end of this series. But I explain all of this in like my random trivia notes and everything. For those of you unfamiliar with my writing, I do random trivia notes at the end of every chapter so that I can like say things that were going through my head, why I wrote things a certain way, elaborate more on plot points that may not make sense, or just tell you that, hey, this is going to be explained later, chill out. I know it's like an open plot point right now, so just relax. I guess those aren't popular among the writing community. You're not supposed to like do that for some reason. But I like to do that because I think it makes the story feel more personalized toward the reader. So anyway, in April, I was like, man, I really want to write some more Yu-Gi-Oh! So in the span of like 3 hours or something, I just started writing episode outlines. And I was writing episode outlines, and a student came in and asked me a question. And I was writing more episode outlines. And by the end of it, I had like 40. That was two-digit number with a 4 in the tens digit and a 0 in the ones digit. 40. 40 episode outlines written out in the span of like 3 hours. I was going to call it Yu-Gi-Oh! Z-Sec. Z-Sec. Z-Sector it was short for. And in hindsight, this name was very bad because, number one, it had nothing to do with anything called Z-Sector. I don't know why I was so stubborn in keeping this name. Number two, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was already out, so it was like, well, now I'm just going to have another series starting with a Z, and it even sounds similar, like Zexal and Z-Sec, and so not good naming on my part, but it was going to be like a mix of Indiana Jones, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, and, hey, Yu-Gi-Oh! One might think in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Story you would have Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was going to be a lot of fun. I wrote one episode of the series and then I abandoned the project because I didn't like the ideas. Another problem I think I have is that I get ideas super quickly. Like, really fast, I will get ideas. I could just be doing the most random thing and get a completely unrelated idea for a series. And I'll have, like, the whole thing painted in my head from start to finish. I'll know who the characters are. I'll know who the protagonist is, who the villains are, who the support characters are. I'll know their motivations, what each role they're playing in the story for the most part. Sometimes the role isn't always true, but I think of the characters beforehand. And I'll know the end outcome. And I think this ruins writing for me, because now I have the entire series painted in my head already. The adventure's over. Like, I've got a start, I've got a middle, I've got an end. I know everything that's going to happen. The adventure's over before I even get to write it. And I think that ruins it for me. I think that ruins the motivation, because now I'm treating it like I'm doing it twice. I did it once in my head, and I can, like, silently act out the scenes, or I can think of the duels in the case of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. I can think of the cards, what the art will look like and everything. And then I just don't want to write it, because I've already done it in my head. So it's like, why am I bothering with this? This is boring. I already did this adventure. Let's go make another adventure. And this pisses me off so much, and I've been trying to, like, fix this about myself for the longest time. But I don't know how well that'll work out. So I abandoned this story, even though I had written so much in such a short span of time. And it bums me out that I just abandoned all those stories and left them for dead, basically. So I don't know. But that was really fun, because it was like, wow, I haven't written anything seriously since, like, 2012, and now suddenly here's 40 episodes of a new series. And then I just didn't want to write it. I don't know. Around April was also the time, I think, again, Teamudf doesn't have a memory, so you have to bear with me here. Okay, I think that was when I got the Tales Universe idea, because I came up with Renard Gustav. His name is Renard Gustav, and everything that this character does in the past directly affects everything that has happened in the Tales video series that I've uploaded to YouTube since, like, 2009. This character named Renard Gustav. So I was going to write the first Tales Universe book. It was going to be a tale involving a sword that, while its insignia is of light, its aura is of darkness. And this would lead into something that I don't have the time to explain this in detail. Well, I guess I do. This is just a video about nothing, so whatever. I guess I could explain it if I wanted to. The idea, for those of you who are familiar with it, this has to do with the third face. A very common running theme in all of my work is this thing that I call the third face. I've even done, like, legitimate school papers and, like, reports on what I perceive this third face thing to be. I don't know, maybe if someone's interested, I could, like, try to do a video where I explain what this idea is. So this sword is basically comprised of light and darkness, but it's outside the realm of light and darkness, is what I wanted this story to be about for Tales Universe. And it was going to be set in the furthest past that I would possibly have anything Tales related take place in. So that means you were going to meet Zelos Phoenix in his, like, rawest form. Straight out of turning into an adult, basically. He has no samurai training whatsoever, and he is basically just a kid. He's a young adult at the age of 18, brand new Zelos Phoenix, and you were going to get to see what he was like before he became the samurai in my Tales from Cyrodiil series, more or less. Now, again, remember, Tales universe is going to be completely like original ideas, let's say. I won't say new because I'm going to recycle some things, but they have to be original ideas because if I want to publish this at some point, it cannot have anything related to Oblivion. So the world name has to change, the name of the artifacts have to change, possibly the motivation of some of the artifacts and characters have to change as well. I will not be using some specific English characters. One of my subs did have a neat idea, though. It was during a stream where they said instead of calling Cleon Clee, I should call him Leon. And I actually liked that idea, so I might take that idea. So whoever had that one, I can't remember. It's been 2 months by now, but I can't remember who had that idea, but thank you very much for that one. That was a good idea. So Cleon might end up being Leon. Sheevan Snow might get a different name. Alicia might be called like Alicia or oh, wait, no, Elise. What freaking name did I have for? I don't remember. Ruined Tail can't be an Argonian. He's got to be like a humanoid. But so all these people's voices and things would be maintained, but I just have to not have it be Oblivion. So that's what this story was going to be about. Was the sword outside light and darkness, and meeting Zelos for the first time, and this character called Renard Gustav, who, again, is ridiculously important in my Tales headcanon. So I hope to do that at some point for you guys. I did start writing it, so that wasn't just me blowing smoke like the Yu-Gi-Oh thing and I gave it up. No, I actually did start writing this one. It's going to hopefully be fun. As soon as I have it ready for you, maybe I'll try to read it on a stream or something, and I'll upload it to YouTube, of course, because I know not everybody can catch my streams. All 100 of you. No, I'm kidding. I'm just hating on myself because it's funny. Anyway, so what was I gonna call this? It was like the tale of the what was the sword name, dude? The tale of the something. Tale of the something blade. I can't remember what the freaking sword was called though. It had a really cool name too, because I put so much effort into this name, and now I can't remember it. To be fair, though, even though I did start writing this, I haven't touched it in a long time, so I'm completely not surprised by any of this that I can't remember. So, yeah, there's that. So, April was kind of an interesting month, because I wanted to try to get back into writing. I managed to do so. I still kind of feel rusty, because I'm, like, rushing things, and I don't know, but I'm gonna try to take my time with my new stuff, and if we get something that's really good enough to be published, I hope, one of you will buy it or something. And I'll toss some freebies at you guys. I'll read it on the channel for free. I won't be like one of those really desperate YouTubers that's like, hey guys, if you put 500 likes on this video, I'll give you the next one. No, we're not doing any of that trash, okay? We don't do that here at Teamudf Gaming. We freaking play games, we have fun doing what we do, and it is what it is. That's about the gist of Teamudf Gaming. Zin is Zin, for people who know that reference, and Teamudf Gaming is what it is. So, okay. I think I was also introduced to Team Fortress 2 in April. Man, that game is fun. Evan bought me an Australian black box. And I did not know it was Australian. I thought it was just a strange black box. But no, he bought me an Australian black box, for those of you who know what that is. And that was really generous of him. So, again, thank you to Evan for that. That was, oh man. I know, again, we're skipping around in time, but he gave me that gift in October because it was my birthday. And that made a really crappy birthday much better, so. Alright. I don't think I have much else for April. Maybe I should also stop here, because this is going on for pretty long. So maybe next time we'll do, like, I don't know, May to August or something. I have no clue how this is gonna work, man. I have no clue how this is gonna work. Or if this is even entertaining to anybody. I guess let me know what you think. We're in the unhinged Teamudf era, but yes, I still ask for your feedback and everything, because I really want you guys to have fun. Kate always tells me that I have to have fun for myself, and you know what? I agree with her, because if I'm not having fun, why am I doing this? But part of my natural instinct is to make sure that you guys are having fun as well, so let me know what you think about videos like this. And now, I guess I'll see you next time for more. What is this, guys? Is this a podcast? What is this? I don't know. Thanks for watching, everyone. Next time we delve into May through August of 2014. Boy!